This is Jonathan Agger, fifth Pro Boxing fans here in Manchester. It's fight week. Conor Benn against Chris van Heerden. And on the bill, of course, is Campbell Hatton, joined by Matthew Hatton. Matthew, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to hear. Obviously, another fight for Campbell this weekend. How does it feel to see your nephew fighting in Manchester?
Well, fighting at the MEN, you know, all of us proud Mancunians, and if you're a fighter from Manchester, you want to fight at the MEN. So even though he has fought there before, there was no crowd there last time. But first time in front of a crowd, and it's going to be a special night for him.
Just sum up his pro career for us if you can so far. Obviously all the pressure starting out in Gibraltar, the Tottenham Hotspur fight, and now a bit of momentum as well in the last two outings. How do you sum up the whole experience?
Yeah, he's been getting better all the time in the gym, and you know, people assume it's going to happen overnight, and it doesn't. You know, sometimes it can take a good while, but you know, it's really started clicking on the night now for Campbell. You know, put into some difficult positions early on, big pressure, not the most experienced, you know, a young man, he's only human, but last couple of fights he's been excellent, and we're starting to see what he can do now.
Do you think people forget his age sometimes? I mean, 21 years old, all that pressure, do you think that's forgotten?
Yeah, just 21. He was only 21 in January, so again, not the most experienced amateur in the world. And, you know, COVID probably fast-forwarded his career by 12 months. We'd probably be looking at him turning professional about the age of 21. That was always the plan. But when COVID hit, you know, we couldn't have had him going over 2 years without a fight like some amateurs did. So the plan was to move him forward a little bit quickly. But like I said, he was put in some difficult positions. He is only human. He's a young man. But everyone's learnt from the experience. You know, we went over to Spain, took a bit of the limelight away. And but I think now he's handling a lot better. He's maturing, and we're seeing what he can do now.
Long term, though, in the, you know, thinking ahead, how key for him to be on those bills so early on do you think will be?
Again, I think in the long run, even though it wasn't easy at the time and he did suffer some criticism, I think in the long run it will make him stronger and it will help him.
What do you think the key areas he's developed on in the past few fights?
Again, I think, you know, I've been seeing him developing in all areas in the gym, and that's why sometimes it was a little bit frustrating watching him on fight nights. But Campbell's developing to a good all-rounder. He's an attacking fighter anyway. He's got a lot of the tools that his daddy's got. He's got a good body puncher. He steps around really well, but he can box as well. So I think Campbell is developing into a really good all-round fighter.
I see online people think he's got more of your style. Do you agree?
I see bits of me in him, obviously coaching him, and I also see bits of his dad, but we've not really seen anything of what Campbell can do yet. You know, again, he's been much more impressive last couple of fights, but we've not scratched the surface yet. We're going to see a lot more in the years to come.
What do you think we'll see from Campbell on Saturday, and what do you make of his opponent?
Well, late change of opponent. Original opponent, Lee Glover, was another good step up in class with a winning record. He boxed for the English title, boxed at a good level. Unfortunately, he pulled out yesterday, so we've got an Argentinian now who's won 3, lost 9, never been stopped. Again, boxed some decent lads, so should provide a test for Campbell.
It's getting very loud here at this public workout. I mean, we look at the headliner Conor Benn, and you know, people see similarities in between, obviously the two dads, yourself as well, and you know how Conor's developed. With Campbell, you know, only a few fights in, can you see that development at the end?
Absolutely. Been a fan of Conor Benn. I've known him some time, and not just as a fighter. As a fighter, I always believed in him. I always thought he'd come through, even when, again, people was writing him off early on. I could see that hunger in him, and I thought he would come through. And as a person, you know, off camera, off record, he's been fantastic with Campbell. Campbell spent a lot of time with him. He reached out to me a while ago, you know, about speaking with Campbell, which he's done. So I'm a big fan of Conor, both as a fighter and a person, and you can see similarities between the two. And again, we're seeing it, aren't we? We're seeing that progression in Campbell now. So, you know, Campbell's got to look at Conor, take advice from Conor, and that's I do see him, you know, a similar path.
Have you had, any conversations with Campbell about what it's going to be like to ring walk at the Manchester Arena, or given the fact he did the whole Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and there was 50,000 in there at the time, do you think that's prepared him for this, or do you think this is a whole different thing being in Manchester?
No, I think the Tottenham Hotspur experience was amazing. There was a huge crowd, and even though the MBN is a special place for a Manchester fighter, like we touched on earlier, he's been on the big event, he's been on the big stage in front of a big crowd, so that can only help him.
Do you think that criticism after that fight has helped him in a way? I mean, he's always struck me as someone who's got a thick skin and he wouldn't be too worried about it, but he did get a whole lot of criticism. I've spoken to him since, he said the same, but have you seen him develop from a mental standpoint?
Again, Campbell's, everything's fast forwarded. He got some criticism after that fight, and I remember, when I was boxing myself, I used to get a lot of criticism online and early doors, and it took me years to develop a thick skin, where Campbell's getting that quite quickly. You can't please everyone, but I think he's impressed people his last couple of fights, seen a big improvement, and hopefully, and I'm confident that's what we're going to see moving forward.
You also got Luke Evans on the bill. Tell us a bit about him.
Luke's a fantastic fighter, well known is in these parts. If you speak to people in and around boxing, in and around Manchester, they know exactly how good Luke Evans is. Had some unfortunate circumstances in the past, which has obviously hasn't helped his boxing. But Luke's getting to perform on the big stage on Saturday, and for someone like Luke with such talent, I think that's where he should be performing. So it's a great opportunity for Luke on Saturday, and I hope he grasps it.
And just staying on the card, obviously you fought Chris van Heerden quite a long time ago. What do you think he brings to the table for Conor Benn on Saturday night?
Well, I remember my fight with Chris, which was 9 years ago now. Doesn't seem like a long time ago, is a long time ago, and he was a good solid fighter then. Hopefully he can test Conor on Saturday. He was a good solid fighter back then 9 years ago. I haven't seen much of him too much recently. Can he provide a test for Conor on Saturday? Possibly provide a test. Can he beat him? Personally, I don't think so.
Two more, Matt, and then we'll finish up. Tyson Fury against Dillian Whyte next week. How do you see the fight going? Who wins?
Again, it's going to be such a massive occasion, isn't it? Huge ticket numbers sold. Dillian's always dangerous. Sat on the shelf for a long time, waiting for his opportunity. And again, you never know in the heavyweight division, but I see a Fury win. Tough night for Dillian. He's always got a chance, but no, I do fancy Fury in that one.
And final one, May 7th, also around the corner, Canelo Alvarez against Dmitry Bivol. You faced Canelo Alvarez. What do you think of that fight, him going up to light heavyweight?
Another former opponent, seems so many of them, but it's going to happen when you've had as many fights as I had. Again, Canelo, amazing what he's gone on to achieve. Such a good all-round accomplished fighter now, and can Bivol stop him? Personally, I don't think so. I think Canelo is getting to that sort of level and stage now in and around those weights. I think he's more or less untouchable. I think the only way he loses is if he gets too greedy in weight. I don't see Bivol beating him.
Is he, last one on this, is he any different a fighter to when you fought him, in your opinion?
He is, he was very young when I fought him, and he's got better and better, as any young fighter should do. Has it surprised me what he's gone on to achieve? No, I knew straight away he was going to go on to do great things. Quite how big a superstar he's become, I couldn't have predicted that, but I always knew he would go on to achieve great things, and he's such a good all-round fighter now.
Matt, wish you best of luck on Saturday night, busy night, back at the arena, and enjoy the rest of the week.
Top man.